Let's bring in our guest to discuss this hour. Joining us, National Trial Attorney Michael Jaafar is with us. Michael, I do want to ask you about the order of witnesses, because the prosecution could have called Amanda to the stand during their case. They chose not to. Can you talk about prosecutors calling difficult witnesses, which often we see, where they, even if it's a pro-defense witness, they will put it in their case?
Yeah, I'm very puzzled as to why they didn't call her, but they must have had a reason. I think we're seeing some of the reason why they're not calling her, because she's basically just destroying their case. That remark she made about her brother Scott looking at the burn pile and how she went to the burn pile twice with her mom, and her mom did not seem off-put by being there, but Scott was looking at them. She didn't say the word menacing, but that's kind of the way she described it, the way I interpreted it, that Scott was looking at them menacing. And then, you know, the defense attorney asking her, hey, what do you think about, you know, him deleting the picture he had from his trail camera? I think the prosecution knew that she was going to be a bad witness. Still, you should bring her during your case in chief, because you can ask her questions directly, and you don't have to cross-examine her, because now they have to cross-examine her. That's going to be tough. I'm very interested to see what they bring up on cross-examination. But they made an intentional decision not to call her as a witness, but they called the other three kids. I'm really interested in seeing why, but she's clearly a powerful defense witness. Clearly her testimony, she just took the orb of reasonable doubt and she just made it a lot larger. It's a very large orb of reasonable doubt at this point, because at the beginning of this trial, I always say trials are like standing on a shifting ship, right? That's swaying left and right, right? If you catch a jury in one snapshot in time, they'll tell you, hey, the boat is tilting left right now where you look at me. But then if you get them a few seconds later, it's tilting right. At this point, trials are the same way. At the beginning of the trial, I was tilting towards conviction. Right now, I'm tilting towards acquittal because of this defense witness, also because of the fact that even an Olympic weightlifter can only bench press twice his weight. How are they going to convince a jury that she bench pressed and pushed 3 times her weight by killing her husband in one part of the house and moving him to the burn pit, then bringing her daughter, which she clearly loves, to look and witness the remains? I mean, that would just be the most pervasive, sadistic type of person in the world. I can't even imagine. Maybe Domner's that type of a person, but I can't imagine that Melody Ferris would be the type of person to burn her husband in a burn pit and bring her daughter, her offspring, who she carried in her stomach, to look and witness the burn pit. I can't get myself there. So I'm very riveted by this case. I did not think this case would be as interesting as it is turning out to be. So let's see how the prosecution they're not done with direct testimony with her. Let's see how this testimony pans out and how the prosecution cross-examines. I really want to see that.